Alright, go! Go every day in the cosmos.
I like the non.
Then again, I'm just feeling around. On the other side. And you know how we be.
Yo, what's cracking, everybody? We're here with King Louie. Little big.
Just trying to experience life now. With everything.
Dude, we were on a pier earlier, and some guys are
playing. Like, why do I feel?
She's only but when the other way went down. Why are we
done with the cards that we dealt? Over here gonna fold. Cause I got my chips and I'm already Good day, everybody. Today we're gonna be studying the effects of collagen peptides on tendon remodeling during resistance training. But for the lecture or this study, personal study of mine, due to undergoing knee reconstruction surgery for my patellar tendon, sorry if I mispronounced that, and I'm just going to be showing you guys what I learned on my own research. But we're starting off with this article, the effects of specific bioactive collagen peptides on tendon remodeling during a 15-week of lower body resistance training. Purpose of this investigation and or study is to discover the effects of supplementation with specified collagen proteins combined with resistance training on the changes of structural properties. So in this case, this trial or experiment was pretty much to discover if collagen peptides, yes, collagen proteins, are in fact efficient in not only reducing stress on tendons, but also in the aid process of, I don't want to call it reconstruction, but in healing and or recovery. And in this particular trial, the 15-week, but also not limited to the next article, they used a double-blind experiment process. Basically, it means a controlled study, as in one group of people took a placebo. So in this case, they could have been taking like a sugar powder mixed with water. And the experimental group basically took supplementation of collagen peptides. But they could have been both blind, as in they've been told that they're both taking sugar water. And in this case, it prevents any type of the candidate saying, oh, I feel this and that. Because realistically, when subjects are conducting an experiment and you have a blind control element, it basically allows them to get more concrete facts and or evidence from whatever they're trying to study and or investigate. And in this 15-week study, they gave 15 grams of a supplementation and or serving to each individual that was part of the experiment. And from that 15-week resistance training program that they conducted, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there was no between group differences were detected for any of the tendinous tissues adaptations of resistance training. So basically what this means is during this 15-week trial, nobody improved or growed, because the whole purpose of this was to see if collagen peptides could help aid in not only the recovery but also the growth, as in bigger, faster, stronger. But let's check out the second study. So coming up on this second article, basically pretty much the same basis, except they went 14 weeks of high load resistance training. And coming from a former personal trainer and also a gym advocate, high load basically means high intensity. And I'll dive into that in a bit. But the purpose of this second article was, purpose of this study was to investigate the effect of a supplementation with specific collagen peptides, aka SCP, combined with resistance training on changes in structural properties of the patellar tendon. Basically, what that entails is we're going to use this supplement, and we're going to do high intensity resistance training, and we're basically going to see if it helps improve our tendons and or ligaments. Realistically, both these studies are just to see if collagen peptides, if supplemented regularly, actually increase and have benefits of our supporting tendons and or ligaments, basically the muscles that attach primary muscles to the bone. And just like the last study in this 14-week high-intensity resistance training program, they also used 50 basically healthy, moderately active males. And they also had the double-blind placebo, basically one group non-knowingly taking the supplement, and then another group non-knowing that they were taking a placebo supplement. And real quick, if I could just break down what high-intensity training is in a nutshell, pretty much high-intensity training is training till failure. And if you do source the article of the 14-week trial, it does go into detail on them training between the ranges of 70 to 85% of their 1 rep max and upwards to the 1 rep max. So it'd be good to read over the article, because I wouldn't recommend taking everything I say as gold, which I hope it does come out that way. But then again, hey, to each their own. And pretty much the conclusion of this case study, guys, is they plain out come to the conclusion that collagen peptides do in fact aid in not only growth and recovery, but in hypertrophy, which means the development of new muscle compared to the same placebo group. Or in this case, it actually says training induced growth in the cross-sectional area and pronounced growth in the proximal and medial tendon sites. So with a daily supplementation of 5 grams of collagen peptides, you can actually get, and while also with the right training, you could induce cross-sectional growth in that particular area, which is the front part of the knee, and pronounced growth in the proximal and medial tendon sites, which is basically the meniscus and the patellar. These are tendons that actually hold everything together in the back of the knee. And I know a lot of us are thinking, all right, so the first article said it didn't, but this article said it did. Well, the only difference between the two studies is one did conventional resistance training, while the one that showed increased tendon cross-sectional area, which means the growth of basically ligaments and tendons. I don't want to get too exact in the nomenclature and the actual doctorate name of these tendons, but it did state in the studies that there was an overall growth in not only the posterior chain, but also in the anterior chain, because the way our bodies basically work, they work in 2 ways. Basically push-pull, and that's why we have pressing muscles, but also pulling muscles, so back, chest, quads, hamstrings. But yeah, guys, take a look at the study, and I do recommend do your own research. You never know what you might be able to find out, and if you do, make sure to spread the wealth with the rest of us, just like how I'm doing. But again, guys, at the end are all my works cited, and basically the articles with links will be in the description. And as per usual, to everybody else in recovery and or a healing state, I wish you guys the best of luck on your respective journeys. And yeah, Doc out.